And alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the self-developed YouTube channel, the best men's channel. To be honest, one of the only men's channels left on YouTube, guys, that actually speaks the truth and not just degenerate kind of clicky dating content that really gets you nowhere and just drags your soul to hell, to be honest. But regardless, let's keep this lighthearted and happy, guys. In today's video, I titled it, or believe I titled it, The Dark Side of Masculinity. Yes, like Star Wars, Darth Vader. We are all part Darth Vader. We are all, and I love great movies or certain video games or even animes. I'm not a huge anime fan, but if you begin to study, guys, the depiction of manhood, you'll always notice that there's a dark side to him. Always. And he's always battling with his morality. Have you guys noticed this? It's so beautiful. Lately, I've been watching, my favorite anime that I literally live off of is Berserk, Guts. Now, some of you guys know what this is, some of you don't. But Guts, I want you to search what this is up after. He's a human. He's a man who's had a very, a very rough past, right? Like the majority of men will have. And eventually I'm not going to ruin anything, but he gets even crazier, right? Post-eclipse. Which is what we are all in now, make no mistake. We are in post-eclipse. There's no question about it. There's a reason that anime started to surface within the past couple of years, like everything does. Anyways, so he gets a brand on him. I'm not going to say what the brand does, but this brand essentially has him marked to the day he dies. Demons will now be attracted to him wherever he goes. So he's fighting all day long. He's fighting enemies in real life daytime. He's fighting demons at nighttime. He's fighting his own morality of good and bad. He's again, you guys know, it's nonstop, and this is what spiritual warfare is. That if you're a true Christ follower, or you are a man still kicking it with me in these days, you are Guts. There is no question about it. There's no question. And part of Guts, guys, the reason it's such an attractive anime with a lot of them, is you'll constantly, I'm trying to think of other movies who do this as well, but you'll constantly see him battle with his own morality. So he has something called the Berserker Armor. And what the Berserker Armor does, again, I'm not ruining anything, guys, but essentially it molds onto the character's psyche. And Guts, I believe it's called the Beast of Darkness. Guts has a part in him. All right, if you guys are Berserk fans, you can probably explain this better than I can. But Guts has a certain psyche within him, based on all the trauma, the will, right, to win, that's very dark and twisted. And it overtakes him sometimes. And he kills everything, right? He'll destroy a lot of things, which will ultimately destroy himself. But it's needed. There's a level of it. Now, an amazing book that comes to mind, or a quote, and a lot of Christians are probably not going to like me saying this, but I'm going to explain and bring it full circle to you guys on what I've been wrestling with myself. It's Jack Donovan, The Way of Men, and he says there are two sides of a man. This is very important. I've come to realize how important my channel is. It's always been important, but I'm really realizing it now. I almost get emotional thinking about this, how few channels there will be that speak of stuff like this. This reminded me of old school Elliot back when I used to watch him. In Jack Donovan, the book Way of Men, you guys read it, he says there's two sides of a man. There's being a good man, right? Morality, just, virtue, right? Think of Christ, being a good man, right? It's more so virtue though in our head. And being good at being a man. And that's a big difference. Now David, what do you mean? Being a good man, right? You're a good man. You're virtuous. You are honest. You're whatever you create for yourself. But being good at being a man is shutting that off and just sending it, getting it done. This could mean, I'll be brutally honest, I'm not recommending this, but I don't want to say it, but killing people. Now, I'm not telling you guys to kill people. Let's tone it back a bit. This could mean violence. Yes, David says violence. This could mean protecting the ones you love. This could mean breaking bridges and barriers at times. Now, hear me out. If your family is being robbed or they're all held at gunpoint, do you think just being a good man in and of itself will be enough? Maybe some of you think it will be. I would argue that it probably won't be. I believe true manhood at times is leaving your morality and accessing the dark beast. And I know this sounds a little cringe to some of you guys, or it doesn't really make sense, but for whatever reason, guys, the past month or so, I've been so, and I've always had this, but I've seen the dark beast within me, and it's taken over myself, and I'm finding a way to integrate with it, but there's a difference this time. I'm no longer shunning it or running away from it. I know the light just went away. Do you understand? The majority of us guys, this is so beautiful, and very few of you, I know you know what I'm talking about, so please, before you just get triggered and comment all these mean things below like the majority of men will, because I'm like hated on social media, like even guys who are my own supporters, you guys think I've all like lost it or I'm mean. I'm not mean, I've just integrated with myself. The vast majority of you guys do not know what this is, or you lock away that dark beast. You don't even know you have it because of what our society tells you. Our society solely tells you, really, it actually doesn't tell you to be a good man, it tells you to just not be a man, period. Right? Cut off your you-know-what, paint your nails. It's an effeminization. We live in a matriarchy, right? And this is, I'm not necessarily saying, it is a bad thing, but like you think of it, we were all raised by our mothers predominantly, correct? Myself included. Or we were in the absence of masculinity. We're the first generation that was in the absence of masculinity. Every other generation above us, our four founding fathers, all had initiation. They had fathers, they had grandfathers. There was a hierarcy, there was an order, there was a rank. We are the first generation now, and it's only getting worse, where that rank is gone. Why? So the government can be that new rank. Do you understand? Now, where am I going with this? In my last video, I'm going to link it up here, it said that men need enemies. And I believe, and what's happening right now, and some of you guys may not like it, but I think, like I said, we're in post-eclipse. Eclipse in the Berserk anime or movie. You guys can, if you want to just see it quickly, there's 3 movies that are each like an hour and a half long. You can search those up. I think it's called like the Golden Trilogy. That's what I saw. I didn't actually read the manga yet. Manga, I might. But we are post-eclipse. And that essentially means the world is not the same. Everything is on like hyperdrive. I'm not going to ruin it, but ish got real. And that's where we're at right now in the world. I believe, and this is a tricky subject, but if you have not or are not harnessing your inner beast, the dark side of you, you will be exterminated. There's no question about it. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But I believe this past month, these past few weeks, I have fully accepted and integrated what that dark beast is within me to mesh both of them. Because I'm going to explain. That doesn't mean you just ditch being a good man, because then you'll be a tyrant. Do you understand? You have to balance both. But if you have not at least surfaced this, you'll be useless. And no other YouTuber is going to tell you this. They're all going to tell you, what do they speak of? Just dating tips or something like that? I don't know, useless stuff. You need both. Now, let's talk about this, being a good man. This is following Christ. And this is the battle I constantly have with myself every day, which I find very interesting. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. Now, contrary to popular opinion, which this is a complete different video, so I'm going to kind of finish this one soon. I do believe that Christ was both. Believe it or not. Now, our media and our Hollywood, and this is why I said a lot of Christians are going to get mad at me, I believe the reason Christianity has been effeminized in and of itself is because they believe Jesus to just be this long-haired hippie who like walks on tulips and does nothing. And that's false, because as I read the Gospels and I come to realize who Christ was, I actually think he was the perfect embodiment of both. Christ was willing to get crucified, and he could have done whatever he wanted. I believe he could have killed all his enemies, but he chose not to. But he still had the power to do so. Christ would chase people out with whips. He had righteous anger. He had righteous judgment. He was very discerning. But he chose. He had both. And he integrated both, but he chose what to do. Which is what I'm still learning and struggling with. So where I'm going with it, guys, is we need morality as men. Because otherwise we're just beasts of darkness. Morality, what is that? Virtues, principles, to be like Christ, to overcome sin. We've got to check ourselves and we're not just falling into sin with wrath and pride. But make no mistake, if you are a true Christ follower, I believe you have both. Because you will have the boldness and the audacity that Christ calls us to be, to put on the full armor of God, just like the berserker armor. All this is biblical. To go out, to be bold, to speak your truth, to step on snakes and scorpions. So how are you going to tell me that Christ and Christianity is just this pacifist, do-nothing religion? You guys are false. You need both. And for whatever reason this past month, I've seen this so close in my own face that I've come to realize that it's just who I am. and there's no more hiding it and shunning it away. When you bring this up, I'll finish this video here, you will lose 95% of your friends. Because these friends have it, but they don't truly believe in it. So in fact, they don't really have it. They haven't harnessed it yet. Or if they have, some people just let it override them. And they're always angry and they're fighting everyone. And like, that's bad. The berserker armor completely overtook you and you killed yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about utilizing it for the time being, but still coming back to morality. That is a lethal man. Ooh, that is what it is. That's what it is, man. I think my next video is going to speak more on this. I think this is going to be like a 3-part series. So anyways, guys, that is it. That is why I titled it The Dark Side of Masculinity. This is the beast of darkness that we all have. This summer, I want you to stop running away from it, and I want you to harness it, not for destruction or merely destruction, but to use it as a power, as a tool, like the full armor of God, to step on snakes and scorpions and to slay demons. Because if you are watching this, you are probably a targeted individual, and you'll get spiritually attacked, branded to the day you die. And if you're just going to be a virtuous dude who just does nothing, you'll be killed within days. No question. You'll be killed. You will be killed. Christ followers are the elite warriors. That's what I've come to realize. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. I'll finish it here with the final plugs. If you guys are interested and would like to work with me on a personal level at integrating your beast of darkness, guys, or on a more practical level, improving things like your fitness, business, mindset, and relationships, there is always one-on-one coaching. Book yourself a spot below. We still have some open, and I'll finish it there. You guys can always support Edge, coupon code Hammond. Let's go, guys. Gonna film one more video, I believe. Go for a walk and just be one with God and harness this yin-yang if you want to kind of envision it that way. So that is it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you next video, and let's keep running it. Go check out Berserk, and I'll finish it there. Till then, much love. Peace.